Full funnel webinar and talk about the latest developments on AI, Chat GPT4, Midjourney. So I'm really excited and also
Likewise.
happy to be back after the summer as well.
Same.
So Johan, tell us a bit about your role and what you do here at Keywordio.
My name is Johan and I manage quite a few of our clients' social media accounts, so like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, but also our own advertising, so and a bit of strategy as well.
Yes. Nice. And my name is Jonas, and I'm one of the co-owners for Keywordio. And like I said, I'm super happy to be back after summer. Actually, I just come back last night for a couple of days in Lithuania with a lot of interesting discussions. I'm really look forward to today's webinar. So let's kick it off. Johan, you will dig into some of the latest insights about Pinterest. I will also share some more about the full funnel and how we see this getting more and more important today, that you really need to work with your whole media mix today to really get the performance to be where you want it to be. And also you have some interesting things from TikTok.
Yeah.
I will share a couple of examples with the GPT-4 and how you as a marketing team can be more efficient, and also what we see in the future. And we have a couple of clients that we work with in this beta program where we actually develop software on top of OpenAI and different AI algorithms today. So that's also really interesting to share.
Yeah.
And then you will wrap up with the Meta and a couple of important things to think about on that. So it's a packed day.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Yeah. So what do we do at Keywordio? When Morten started the company from the beginning, he used to work at Google. It was really specialized on paid search. But like I said, and also the theme for today, we really see it's so important to work with your full funnel and also work with your media mix. So today we deliver services within paid search, paid social. We help create and adopt content for each channel with a creative content package. Market automation. It's really important to what can you do to actually get your most valuable customers to come back. And then of course the final block that is continuously growing. It's about AI and also data. So specialized on how you can actually use, for example, the API to OpenAI and actually build things that scale for your company. So it's not just one person that sits and use Chat GPT free version to do a couple of things, which is the case for most of the clients that we speak to. So This is what we do at Keywordio. And how we work with sort of three different ways. We have some clients that work with us with a agency setup. So we manage, for example, a set of channels, or we manage the full funnel, or we are a partner in their marketing team. So that's a typical agency setup. The other version is that we do specific workshops, could be on themes, could be on CRM, could be HubSpot implementations, how to collaborate with a B2B sales team, for example. Or it could be on like the latest, for example, on TikTok, if you decide to run TikTok with your in-house team, for example. Yeah. And the third option is that we do special projects. And special projects could be launching new markets. It could be building customized software solutions just for the marketing team, and that kind of project. So this is how we work in the three different ways: agency, workshop, and projects. And we work pretty much with every type of company, from e-commerce startups to global brands. We work in B2B, B2C. And like I said, I just came back from Lithuania, where we now work with one of the world's largest VPN suppliers. And I mean, SaaS business as an area, that is something that is growing a lot today. And it's also very interesting from a performance marketing perspective, like how can you do this as efficient as possible? And there's a lot of different ways. So we see that area, and B2B is growing really fast for us.
Yeah.
So why do our customers trust us today? I would say these are 4 really good reasons that we are really the top 2 rated in Sweden when it comes to Google Ads. Of course, that's our core. That's what we comes from the start. We're really highly rated with what you are doing, Lina, and leading up the team within TikTok and paid social. We have the highest partner tier for Meta, and labeled as one of the leading one in the Nordics for Pinterest. So I'm super proud to share that, and we really see it's important to combine many channels today in an efficient way to make your whole media mix work.
Yeah.
And we also have some new announcement to mention that we have heard many of you use, and I personally myself, I listen to a lot of podcasts. So we will launch soon a podcast version, which is going to be more tailored. But I'm also, feel free, send me an email if you have a theme you would like us to take up in a podcast.
Yeah.
And also if you think you have something really interesting to share, hit me an email, and we are signing up new guest speakers, because we want to do it interactive as well. So if you would like to join in on a show as a guest, send me an email, and let's see if we can find a spot for you for this.
Yeah.
So why is it so important to work with a full funnel and the whole media mix? This is an example of what we see quite a lot. So in this case, you see the orange line is cost of sale, and you see light blue staple, darker blue, and the orange is TikTok. So this is an example where you see over the month, we're adding on, and we're also able to increase the spend, and at the same time actually drive down cost of sales at the same time. And how to do this? It's very important to, of course, monitor your top line key metrics like growth, cost of sale, depending on what's the focus. But this is what we see quite a lot, that working with the full funnel, working high up all the way down to the conversion, and it's really not the one channel game anymore. I've also spoken to a lot of companies that see that, okay, we were too heavy on one channel for 1 or 2 years ago, and that was a really mistake from us. So also spreading the risk, it's something that is very important as well.
And now we don't have Pinterest here in this graph.
Yep.
But this example, we added Pinterest as an example in January this year. We've seen the cost of sale drop even more since that happened. So the more channels, if you do it right, hopefully that will decrease your costs.
Yeah. So and also, how do you actually connect branding to net sales? I think this is a really interesting study that was done on, for example, on Walmart. And you see actually, so Walmart have on the y-axis, you have Walmart net sales indexed, and then you have brand searches in the US for them. And I mean, for me, of course, if more people are looking for Walmart, then that's going to have a really high correlation to net sales. And doing these kind of more long-term correlation analysis to really prove why building the brand is important and why that is key. I mean, depending on what company you work on, sometimes it is important to be able to show this in the numbers as well, to connect branding with net sales as well, and not only looking at performance marketing and very close to the conversion. So, Johan, Pinterest, what is really important to think about on that now?
Well, there's quite a few things, but it's quite a great platform to start with. So let's get started with Pinterest. So many of you might use Pinterest to get inspiration, etc. But you can also do advertising on Pinterest, and I'll take up a few examples later on, but we've seen some great results on Pinterest. So Pinterest is actually a visual discovery engine. So it's somewhere between, I say, like Facebook and Google, because people go to Pinterest because they already decided they need to do something like renovate their kitchen or go to this like destination to travel or buy a new ski outfit, for example. So you browse for inspiration. So it's a great way to also run ads. So what is the audience on Pinterest? Pinterest have around 445 million users that use it every month, and they use it to find, as I said, inspiration, what they want to do next or buy. And they also come to Pinterest very open-minded and eager to discover what's next. So actually 97 of all top searches on Pinterest are non-branded. So example, spring outfit idea, or now it can be like fall outfit ideas, or Christmas decoration, or something like that. But also can be like travel tips for if you're going on a long trip to, let's say, Australia or somewhere else. So it's a great way to find inspirations, or if you go to a ski trip. And also Pinterest is a very strong channel for driving performance. So Foss have done a marketing measurement for e-commerce studies. And we've seen that Pinterest stands out as the highest ROAS at 2.2x compared to like paid shopping, TikTok, display, Meta, Snapchat, etc. Compared to the others, and then discovery. So Pinterest, and also we have seen really good performance on Pinterest when it comes to ROAS. It sometimes even outperforms like Google brand searches. And there are a few different targeting options available on Pinterest. So basically, you can use the same keywords as you do on Google Ads. You can also do interest-based. You can upload your customer list. So like if you have a subscribe list or something like that. You can create engaged retargeting. Also people who visit your website, and act alike, so similar to lookalike on Facebook. And the interesting thing when you do your reporting, you can get all this information out from your ads. So if you have a conversion ad and you have heaps of different interest, you can see what interest or keyword that generated the most amount of return on investment. So that's really good on Pinterest platform.
I think also a tool for like understanding your customers even better as well, like when they are in the research phase as well. Like you said, it's a really interesting platform.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's great for analytics. And what categories is like the biggest ones on Pinterest? As you can see here, there are quite a few ones, but food is a big one. So if you're a restaurant or a chef or like selling food, like ICA in Sweden. Also home, fashion, decor, luxury, beauty, travel, wedding, gardening, pet, baby. And we tried a few of them and seen some really good results. And there are even more categories, so I'm sure your category exists here as well. There are a few different places where your ads can be seen. It's the home feed, search, and related. And there are also a few different types of ads you can run. You can run the normal standard pin, which looks like here on the left. You can do a video, a carousel, or a collection. Collection is similar to what you have on Meta as well. So let's check out an example. And in this case, we're gonna do Houdini, which we launched earlier this year. So we started on January 3rd with a consideration campaign. It's kind of the reason why, because we want to gather inspiration of who is the audience that engage with just Houdini. So after analyzing or getting enough data and analyzing the data, we launched a conversion campaign based on the people who interacted most with the previous ad. So for example, it can be men's fashion would be one interest. And we launched that conversion campaign. And a couple of days later, we have uploaded a catalog. So all the product feed from Houdini's website to Pinterest. And we launched a catalog campaign that is dynamic. So if you visit, for example, the Power Hoodie, you will get that in your feed later on. So what is the result after running this test for a couple of months? So like fast forward to 31st of April, we actually received 828 purchases. We had 16 in ROAS. And also as Pinterest, we normally aim to have above 0.7 in the click-through rate. Otherwise, we usually swap the creatives. So Houdini had a pretty good creatives here as well in the test. And overall, as a business, we added 8% revenue with only 2% extra spend. So I think the results were really good, and we've seen even better results over the summer. So it's a really good case that we've been testing, and we've seen similar results for a lot of our clients that we launched on Pinterest. So if you're not here, we will, we can help you get started. And we will answer all the questions in the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and we will try to answer them in the end. And then fast over to TikTok. So TikTok is the leading destination for entertainment, where content is humanized, it's commerce, sound on, and also joyful. And you can say that 1 in 3 agrees that TikTok is the leading entertainment platform. So, for example, me, I got into accident beginning of summer. So TikTok have been entertaining for me when I've been on recovery and not been able to move from the bed, as an example. Learn how to fix a golf swing or be entertained by a bit of humor or something like that. So it's a great platform for entertaining. And also TikTok is the fastest growing channel for discovery of brands and products. So as you can see, here's an example of discovery because of TikTok. It's growing quite a bit. And as Jonas mentioned before, you can actually see in Google Search Console how people searching after your brand. And we've seen a quite uplift of brand searches after advertising on TikTok compared to before. And this might be a new audience that you didn't even think existed. So it's a great way to get discovered because of TikTok.
And I think we have also seen some interesting cases where we actually see that strategy and content that, for example, works on Meta doesn't work at all on TikTok, and vice versa, right? So
yeah, exactly.
It's very important to, of course, think about who do you speak to and what's the format you're using as well, because it's a great opportunity to discover new, for sure.
Yeah, and I think like everyone might think like, okay, I need to create like someone dancing on TikTok. That's usually not the case. We've seen really good results of companies that stick to their brand image and do what they do best. And all ads doesn't have to be TikTok, even it might help with the result. But this is one example. Yeah. And we also seen 73 of purchases happening on TikTok are unplanned. So I bought a few things on TikTok that I didn't think I was gonna buy, and then looked like a nice ad, and I was maybe wanted to buy it. So you can also search for TikTok made me buy it is a hashtag. And TikTok is also considering the purchase journey. So as with like all platforms, we would like to have the full funnel approach. But the path to purchase on TikTok is not traditional linear funnel, it's an infinity loop, because we want to have brand and performance. So we have seen that 1.4 times is more likely to buy a product they saw on TikTok, as an example, because you might have started following them, and then you saw like a branding ad, and then you saw the conversion ads, and then you maybe went to Google or something else. So it's a great way to like infinity loop. And of course, if you have products that you normally don't sell, this is a great example to highlight them. So if you have like a kids collection that don't sell so good, this might be a good chance to promote it to your current customers with a custom audience. And then also entertainment on TikTok leads into all forms of commerce across the industries. So you can see like store visits, shopping, different hauls, unboxing and reviews. And that takes everything from sharing, connecting people, showing the products or the services, and then leads to a purchase in the end. So it's quite a few different types you can try out in TikTok.
And I think also education, tutorials. I mean, that's not here, but
no,
I mean,
exactly.
that's also growing really fast. And it's not only like, okay, how do you prep this dish or a recipe? I mean, you can do it in a lot of different categories, and of course based on your business, like what would it be? Yeah,
exactly. And we had a lot of clients or people we speak to that had tried TikTok and said it didn't work. Usually when we had a look at accounts, they didn't really have the right approach, or they didn't get past the learning phase, or they was thinking, let's do the same strategies we did for Meta. That's not really the case. So be patient when you do the TikTok ads. focus to set up the campaigns right and the goals. But for a campaign to really work, give it like 7 to 10 days to test it. You need at least 50 conversions a week for it to work. So, for example, if you have view content or complete payment as the goal, you need at least 50. So if you set like complete payment as the goal and you only get like 20, it won't work. So you need to get high up in the funnel, like add to cart or view content, etc., to get started. Because that you can see the CPA will go down in that case.
That's a really classic mistake. Well, we see a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And then you might think, what budget should I have on TikTok? So we usually recommend like calculate the daily budget per ad group from your cost per acquisition. What is your ideal cost per acquisition? And take that for a purchase campaign times 10, and for other events like times 25. Then you have like a rough idea how much you need as a daily budget on TikTok for having a good performance platform. You can have it cheaper if you used to do branding, but for conversions, this is what we seen work the best. And again, if you don't have enough daily budget, it's crucial to pass the learning phase. So build the whole funnel, like the upper funnel, mid funnel, low funnel. So you might need to start with a lot of traffic for view content, then you can continue with add to cart, initial checkout, or add payment and complete payment at the bottom. If we do the full funnel approach, we've seen 70% lower CPA for nurtured account and 243% of a higher learning phase completion. So it's quite good results, but you need to build the entire funnel as a whole. Otherwise, it will probably not work. Some cases it might, but we have seen a lot of accounts that don't work if you don't use the entire funnel. And for the structure for the account, of course, use one account per brand. If you have more brands, you can use more accounts. Usually don't go over 5 ad groups. 1 to 5 is a good test. And have live around 3 to 5 ads at the same time, because otherwise TikTok will not really, it's be hard to decide who's the best one, and then be sure when you swap them out. And as I said before, bundling campaigns improve the results quite a bit. So if you only have a conversion campaign, you might get an okay result. But if you also add a branding campaign to your conversion campaign, we've seen almost double the amount of ROAS, or like the revenue. But if you add like brand, traffic, or video, and also conversion, we've seen the results almost triple. So take that into consideration, that you might not want to have a branding ad or like a video ad or traffic ad on top of the conversion ad, but that usually increases the ROAS, drives down the cost of sale, you get more conversions, and also people might start searching for you more on other platforms. So do the whole funnel and mix around with the campaigns. And again, if you have any questions regarding this, just let us know afterwards, and we're happy to have a look on your account and set it up. And then also you might ask, what metrics is the best one, or what do I actually classify? So if you're running a traffic ad or campaign, we usually look for in success, high CTR and low CPC, lead generation as low cost per lead as possible, web conversions, app promotion, product sales, we want to have as low cost per acquisition as possible, or cost per install, and as high ROAS as possible. Well, maybe not the highest, because you want to find your ideal ROAS, because if you have too high, you don't get enough revenue. So you want to like push. So for example, if you say your goal is 3 in ROAS, and we see like 15, then there's a huge opportunity to increase spend, increase the revenue, and drive down the ROAS. So you find your ideal ROAS. But we have a great calculation, and Jonas can more than happy to help you set that up and find your ideal ROAS for your business. And then also leverage both pixel and server to server integration. We've seen similar to Meta, but basically we've seen if you have both the server and the pixel, the improvement of CPA have been 15% lower, and also you get 19% more events on your website or in your ad account. So make sure you have both the pixel and the server side integration. and also that the tracking is on point. So make sure all the dots is green, and hopefully are over 95 in match rate, because then you get as much data as you can. So this is an example how it should look like. And we also have set up a 4-week strategy. So yeah, you will get this presentation afterwards. You can go over it, and if you have any questions regarding it, just let us know. We can go over it like more slow and more in detail. But yeah, it's a 4-week strategy to test out on TikTok. How to go from new to actually performing ad account. And you also need a bit of creatives or inspiration. TikTok have a creative center. You can find trending songs, hashtags, creator videos. They're also launching soon where you can find what your competitors are doing. So that's interesting. And you can also sort it by business use only. So you have the full rights to all the content.
And I mean, not only for, let's say that you're not running TikTok today, but I mean, that's a great resource for your content team anyway, to get sort of inspiration. Yeah. We'll also have some new features coming out as well, right? So I mean, it's a great source for inspiration and content that you can use in other platforms if you're not even using TikTok as a paid channel today.
Exactly. And when you start creating that content, make sure the ads are right. So TikTok have a safe zone. So you see the red area here. If you have any logos or text or any message, make sure that message is in this red one. Because if you have your logo down here, as you might have for Meta or Instagram, it will be covered by the CTAs and the text. So make sure all the text and logos is in the red one. And again, you will get this presentation afterwards. So you just click this one and you can test upload your creatives before you putting them live on TikTok. So it's a great way to test it out. And then also some of you might be concerned about the data, where it's being stored. So there are a couple new ones. Data center, this is launching in Europe this year. So Ireland, it's 2. And also launching one in Norway. So all your data will be stored safely in Europe. So that's quite good. And then a little bit of the creative best practices. So always test new things. So split test, whether it be CTAs or be the conversion goal, or it can be everything basically, lots of things. And also, when should you refresh the content? Usually when the CTR, the CVR decrease by 50%, you should do good indicator that people seen it too much. The CPA of the ads usually doubles. And then also the frequency is too high. And the frequency, you need to decide by yourself what is too high and what is too low. We usually recommend around like 3 to 4 times a week. But if you see it is double that, that's usually when it's too high. But it's up to your business to say. It's an example of Candy Crush of one of their TikToks. But you can look at that later on as well.
It's a cool wrap.
Yeah, your car will be for sure visible if you drive it on Sveavägen or somewhere here in Stockholm, or basically anywhere.
I mean, you should wrap that on your car, Lina. You have a cool car.
Yeah, maybe.
TikTok made you buy it.
My friend works at Candy Crush, so maybe I can ask him for some sponsor. But that was basically everything for TikTok, and heading over to Jonas for AI.
Yes. Let's talk a bit more about what we see right now, the current state, and also more focusing on like how can you make not only you as a individual marketing, but also your marketing team and your whole company more efficient. And like I mentioned before, we are starting up this beta program specifically tailored for AI and companies specialized in digital marketing. So we see potential to improve efficiency with 2 to 5x in terms of continuous works that needs to be done. So we're really excited about this. So what is coming and where are we right now? I just want to start with this because I think it's a really cool example, and also my if we look at the picture on the left, for example, one challenge that we have today, Leader, I think you have seen it quite a lot with all the customers that you work with TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
Videos is not actually that easy to get.
No.
And this is something that is not really mature yet, but I think we are not far from it. So we talk about like you put something into Chat GPT, you ask with the text prompt, and then you get the text reply back, for example. Or you use Midjourney and you put in a text prompt and you get the image back. But I think that pretty soon we will start to see these new algorithms coming out where it's actually text to video, or let's say that it's image to video. So here, this example, I gave this, just the input was the picture. This is a campaign from our customer Komplett Företag, which is, by the way, a running campaign. So you should really take the chance to get this curved screen for sure. I love it. And based on the input, it generated this video. I mean,
yeah, I thought it was a TikTok filter first, but that's AI. And it's, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, there was a trend on TikTok where you looked a bit different and they looked at that, but that's actually, a tool.
You know, for me, it felt like I got a couple of years older, it felt like, maybe a couple of kilos bigger. But I mean, if you look again, like look at the, like how I move, how that the algorithm has to understand, okay, this is a computer, I maybe do something on the computer, I share a smile. I mean, there's a lot of things that I am really impressed with, and I didn't even write a prompt to this. This was only input, and then it generated this video. So this is really something that that I think will be coming very soon. And I mean, this one, you can try this yourself. They have a free version. It's called Gen 2 or Generation 2 by Runway. And it's really state of the art when it comes to text to video and also image to video. So that is something I'm very excited about. And when we look at this is also a really interesting study that was just released by McKinsey in August. What they see is that sort of 9 in 10, they have used generative AI in Europe. But I think this is also close to what we see as well, Leader, that when they say, yeah, we have used it, that means that, for example, someone in your marketing team has used the free version of Chat GPT as an individual. Maybe 1 or 2 people like it, but it is not put into motion to run it in a strategic way with the whole team and actually building workflows and actually more automated ways around this. And I think that is the big opportunity here, where you can see a big increase in improvements. So let's take ChatGPT as an example, or GPT-4. Soon you will be able to have sort of image input. You will have probably audio, video, different types of data CSVs. We will show you a couple of examples how you can actually work with CSV files into GPT-4 or just code. And then the output from the algorithm is not only going to be text-based, but it can be like DALL-E 2, which is from OpenAI, that they generate an image, or you can have it create a graph for you, or it can predict something, or it can write code or produce a video like I showed you in that example. And that is called multimodal. And multimodal is actually that you have multi types of modals that you have as input and also as output. This is something I think we will see a lot more. Then the second thing is that we think it will be very important for having customized versions of this, and also combining, for example, like it seems to be that open source will be the way forward here, that Meta is releasing their algorithms, Google have their options, and there's a lot of different other players that is in here. But adding on layers on top of these algorithms to be able to do more specific marketing things, that is something that we see unlocks a lot of potential. So the beta program that I have mentioned, it's actually just about that. So we have under adhelp.io, we have already a full feed management tool. So we can, with access to a feed, you can write a prompt where you can actually input different attributes from a feed. So that means that you can, for example, let's say that I want to do product descriptions for all the 100 products that I have in this category. Then we can filter out those in the product field. We can pull all the data from the product feed. Could be material, could be color, could be category and brand, and then write product descriptions for them based on that, all of those in that category. And I mean, that's the way to actually really unlock efficiency in your marketing team. And I mean, for the marketing channels themselves, let's say that you just pull from the latest year top performing ads when it comes to ad copy, for example. You can pull all of that out and then, okay, this is a message that resonates with my customer. Okay, how can we write more like this, for example? So there is a lot to do with adding on layers on top of the core algorithms. And I mean, for me personally, I have a background in applied mathematics from the Royal Institute of Technology, and I really like to learn how these algorithms works in the background. I trained a neural network for 20 years ago when I did my master thesis at Scania, and we used that to optimize how we designed a new engine block for the V8 engine in a Scania truck. And that was 20 years ago. So neural network it's far from a new thing, but the way we are using it today is really impressive. And for you guys who are very technical and want to understand sort of what is actually going on behind here, I think Gustav Söderström from Spotify does an amazing job to really simplify this. And like you said, the conspiracy to make AI seem harder than it is, this talk is all about trying to explain in simple words how things works. And I mean, some of the inventions that we have done as humans it's pretty cool. Like, okay, let's take our words and we transform them to vectors. When they are vectors, then we can use mathematics to work with them. Then we can try to learn to predict the next word and the next word. And that's what neural networks are trained to do. So I will share the link, and it's definitely worth spending your time to understand how these algorithms works in the background.
Yeah, it's in the presentation.
Hey everyone,
that you will send as well.
my name is
Yes. So it seems to be that open source will be the future of this. So OpenAI, Bard, Meta, Runway, both when it comes to text and image, seems to be that they are releasing open sourced versions of this, which is probably the approach for most of this. So this will be very interesting, and I think also training these algorithms to your specific need will also be important, and adding on the layers on top of them so your team can be more efficient. So how can AI help us at Marketeers today? We have spoken to a lot of our customers about this, and if you just put up a simple org chart and you look at typical teams that you have within a typical marketing team. You have social, you have brand product, you have SEO, you have web development, you have paid acquisition, and finance and the BI analyst. And like you said, Johan, you will get all of this, but these are use cases that we see that many people are starting to scratch on top of, and they are doing it mostly in the case that it's one person in the team that has maybe Chat GPT, maybe they have GPT4, maybe they use Midjourney, and then they try to do this manually themselves, and then they get excited about the performance. So that is typically what we see, but there's so many use cases here, and making sure that you pick the ones that can make your team more efficient, that is very important for the future. And what we see as an individual, you can definitely be more efficient, 10, 20, 30% easy when it comes to, for example, writing content or analyzing data. But if you do it as a team, this is where you can unlock everything. If you can collaborate with the prompts that really works, and you can share the insights, and you can even add on in terms of how to write the prompts, and you can get direct access to the product feed, and you can schedule prompts and workflows. That is what really unlocks improvement in the efficiency of a team. Let's say that you always, when a campaign is run, that data is exported together with the finance data, and that is analyzed as a start. Then you can really see a big difference. So these are, I would say, my biggest best tips for when you write your prompts, when you sit there and work individually. Let's say that you're just saying, tell GPT who you want GPT to be. You're a data analyst. Please help me analyze this spreadsheet, for example. List 10 ideas as a table is a really good way, like you see here. For example, when it comes to just listing things as a table, it's great because then it's much easier for you to cut and paste that into Excel or slides. If you use GPT4, the paid version, then, plugin, let's say that you're writing content. Use the plugin Scrape, and then you can scrape an about page. And when you have scraped that, then you can just say, okay, use that tone of voice and write me a product description, or write me an ad copy, or give me 10 ideas. So you don't always have to sit and write too much and copy paste, but use the scrape to work. And I think when you have done a couple of the prompts, ask GPT for feedbacks on how you have written the prompts. That is a really good one. So after you have it, give me feedback on the prompt. How can I improve it? You will get a lot of good ideas. And then if you have a long chat that you have, for example, if you're doing analysis, then you maybe have a lot of things in there. Just summarize that and sort of pick out the core things. These are, I would say, the 5 things that will definitely help you to be even more efficient where you are today. And we see it's very common to use, but not everyone uses it as efficient. So let's show you a couple of examples here. So we have, this is example data. This is order data. And we want to, so you don't have to see me write this, but let's do a very simple prompt here with the example. So this is GPT-4 and its code interpreter. So we will just upload this, just a CSV. It's a demo. Sorry. So it's a CSV file with order data, and let's say that you have introduced a new discount system, and you want to analyze how this performs. So here it reads the CSV file. It starts to understand, okay, what is in here, and when you do this the first time, it's not labeled the best way. It starts to see what it is, and it understands a lot about the context without even doing any data for it. So it also finds out things. For example, if data looks like there's a lot of missing data. But while this is running in the background, I can just show you what it will produce from this. So for example, when it comes to order data, I think correlation analysis is a very important thing. So let's say that you want to understand, okay, we did a discount. How did discount affect total revenue, for example? So in this case here, you have a negative correlation between discount and total revenue. So that is very interesting. So we had a discount, and it seems like it's not really working the way we wanted it to be. So, okay, then follow up. Why is a discount negative correlated with revenue? And you see, I even misspelled revenue here, revenue, for example. It still understands that was just a mistake. So it gives me a couple of really good inputs and ideas why this is. So discounted products, maybe we have an issue that the discount was only put on products that, it's maybe hard to sell, for example. So with this, when I started to analyze this sheet from the beginning, it actually took me 4 hours to look through all of the different from correlation analysis, trend analysis, looking at that, it actually takes some time to do that. So this was really helpful, and I think this is just a great example of how you can accelerate your analyst and simplify for your data analyst team as well.
Mm-hmm.
The second example is product information. We see that many have challenges with that. So here we can just show it from Houdini. I think they have a great way of writing product descriptions. So Power Hoodie, it's a really a favorite product of mine, and I think that it's a good way, and they have a good structure for it. So one way to prompt this is also, for example, take that product description. And like you see, what I did now is that I pretty much took a copy of it, and then I say use the same style of writing for this product instead, and then just label, okay, this is a brand, this is a product, this is a category, and this is, for example, the material. And we can put this into GPT-4. And we can have this writing it for us with the same type of tone of voice and style. And also what you see here is that it was a pretty simple input. It was only like I only took the brand, the product, the category, material. Of course, this can be done a lot more detailed.
Yeah. And in this case, we changed from women's to men's. As an example.
Exactly, that's that as well. So having it writing this is also a really effective way to get an early draft for it. But like you see, this is also just a good example of how to do things one-on-one. Like this is how an individual, for example, content writer can work. But to be able to do this at scale is something that we are looking into. So this is a live demo of what our latest mockup looks like. So we're building ad help, like I said, a layer on top of GPT and GPT-4 and the different algorithms. So here we can actually script prompts with infused attributes from your product feed. So let's say that I would like to edit. I can easily access attributes in the product feed directly into when I write the prompts. So, for example, why is this useful, for example? Well, that is useful for if I'm a content writer and I get tasked to launch this new category or this new campaign, then I can filter these products out here. I can take all of them, and then I can apply sort of the logic for the prompt I want, and then I can run that for all the products that I would like. And I also get them first. I see the description. I can also approve and I can edit here. And after that, then I can save and then run that at scale for the whole assortment. And this is what we mean will be actually the option here where you can enable so much more efficiency in the team.
Yeah.
So those are two examples and some tips and tricks for it. Let's take an image example.
Yeah, so this is Midjourney, and yeah, one of our clients didn't have so many good images, so they used Midjourney to create these ones, and they are like real life examples. It looked like people. I got tricked first myself, and they told me no, everything was created within Midjourney. A couple versions later, they've added logos and all of that to the images, because we tested this on like Meta, Pinterest, etc. And we see some images worked better or some copy worked better. So we kind of adjusted the ask within Midjourney to increase the performance. So this is very simple how to mass produce great images of real people in different destinations.
Yeah. And I mean, this case, this is from a really big travel company. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they they work a lot with paid ads in a mix of the channels. So this is really a great example of how you can actually start scaling creatives as well.
Yeah.
So Meta.
Yeah, then finish off with Meta. So we've seen that using a mix of creatives helps engage your audience. So if you have different type of creatives, we've seen a decrease by 36% in CPM and also increase in impressions by 66%. So try change your content and test it, and you will see hopefully lower cost and more impressions. But also focus as a long-term approach. So building brand can make immediate impact. So if you're having, similar to TikTok, only a performance campaign, it has okay performance. But if you're adding on like a branding campaign on top of the performance campaign, we've seen almost the result double. Of course, you increase the spend as well, but the ROAS usually increases or stay as what we plan to. But the cost of sale usually goes down, and same with the cost per acquisition is usually cut in half. So you usually get more for your money if you're adding both performance and branding. And of course, you can add more things on top of that, like lead generation and stuff like that, to grow your organic email list, as an example. Especially prior to your sales, or now when the holidays are not approaching, but it's getting closer, like Black Friday. So make sure you have a big email list on that, and Meta is a great way to add on top of the campaigns. And then also, don't forget to use the right ad for the right placement. So for example, for Facebook feed, 1x1, Instagram feed, 4x5, and Reels and Stories, 9x16. So this is an example of how you should not do it. Because you can see, like on the right, it's the Facebook feed placement is 1x1, and then the opposite on the 1x1. So it's kind of bit looking strange, and things get cut out a bit badly. So this is an example of how you shouldn't do it. What you should do is like this: keep the right placement at the right the right ad at the right placement. So here you see a good example of how you should do it. And also try different types of ad, as I mentioned before. Try the different campaign types, but also different ad types. So like photos, videos, live videos, stories, reels, and events, to see what performs best for your brand, or have them all at the same time. And you can kind of changing the copies to increase your overall performance of the brand. And then also consistent testing, as I mentioned quite a few times. We've seen that consistent testing can be a competitive advantage. So businesses that run at least 15 experiments a year, not much. We've seen 30% higher ad performance. We usually run like almost 80 experiments a month. So it's the more experiments you do that is planned and based on data, hopefully the better results you get. And you can also do like conversion lift studies. You can do A/B testing, audience insights, of course, the reporting of the ads, and compare the top products, see what products actually sell the best, have the highest click-through rate, the lowest CPA, as an example. Is an example. And when it comes to budget, this is a quite common question we get from our customers and also other people speak to. And depending on your goal, if you sell on your store or if you don't sell on your store. So if you only focus on branding, we usually recommend 60 to 70% on new customers and around 30 to 40% on retargeting on those. But if you want to have branding and performance, that you actually sell something physical on your website, we usually seen that 24% for branding is a good amount, and around 23% for consideration, and then 53% for conversion. Because this kind of balance out your spend, you get a good amount of branding, but also you get the return on investment that you're looking for. So that's a good example of the ideal budget distribution. And also, similar to TikTok, make sure you have the Meta Pixel correctly installed. Before, the Pixel was maybe enough. Now we recommend you install the conversion API and add on like the CRM system like Klaviyo, Veado, or Emirates as an example, and have it all on your server, because this might help see a better results. We actually done tests on this, and here's an example. So you can see like here, the dark blue is the pixel, and the light blue, or the turquoise, is the server. So if you only had a pixel at the top of the funnel, the page view, you will get around 13,000 clicks that day, or events. But then we added the server, we generated 26,000 more that day. So in total, it was almost double that you would have lost of like a retargeting audience for top of funnel. And when it comes down to like the bottom of the funnel, from the pixel we see like almost 60 complete registrations, and from the server like 35. So you added basically half, a little bit more than half of the events. And same with TikTok, you need at least 50 events a week. So if you don't have much data, this will help you and your performance a lot better on the platform. So make sure you have the conversion API installed and ready to go. And that was everything for Meta. And yeah, we're having an event later in September. You all will get invited to it, but it's a paddle at Ascaro, or the NK Talkit, or the roof. And yeah, more info will come to you all.
Yeah, it's a teaser for all of you who like to play paddle, and I think it's also based on we did a golf event before the summer, and it was really successful. It was a great day, a lot of good discussions, and we're gonna do a lot more of these more like great events where you also get to meet peers within marketing teams, so you can both share and meet up in person, and also have something fun and social. So I'm really excited about this.
Me too.
So when this pops in the mailbox, if you want to join, you need to be super fast, because the seats will be very limited. And the golf was a lot of people on the waiting list that we were not able to invite.
Yeah, exactly. And I see we are running out of time, but we have a couple of questions. But I see one in the chat we can answer. So do you take the metrics from Pinterest Business Manager or through a third party? So we actually use both. And the same question comes to Meta, Google, TikTok. So of course we look at the native platforms, but we usually use a tool to connect it to like a Google Data Studio, or Locker Studio as it's called now, where you have live data, and then you can compare it to the different platforms. So we use both to make sure all the data is correct, but we usually recommend to use something like Locker Studio to have a good overview of your total spend and revenue per channel. And then we connect it by funnel, which is another partner of ours. So it's
But I think expanding on that, I think that it's a great question, because it's also about is it a click-through conversion? Is it a view-through conversion? What is the settings for the platform? And I mean, that is something you should always like keep coming back to for each channel you're doing, and also look at top level. So what is real revenue coming from the e-com platform, excluding VAT, and of course looking at cost as well. So you want to feed the channels as much as possible, and then you want to make sure that you always keep track on the top level metrics that you know is true.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Right on time. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and stay tuned for the pod and also the paddle invite.
Great.
And see you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you.